All right.
You want to go to the cage?
We're going to go to the cage.
Leave the hardwood and go to the cage?
Yeah, man. We're going to go leave the hardwood and go to the cage. Lock those doors, baby. Put the women and children to bed. It was fight night on Saturday, baby. So, big UFC card. It was actually UFC 298. All right. Headlined by, of course, Alexander Volkanovski, all right? He was undefeated, I believe, actually, at this weight class inside the UFC. He was the reigning champ. Now, he had vacated, not vacated the title, but he had left the weight class a couple of times. He had challenged, actually, the 155-pound champ, who they fought twice. So the first time, epic fight. It was the thriller. Went to decision with the other guy obviously beating Volk. Very close fight though. Could have gone to either fighter. Then they fought a second time, and Volkanovski actually ended up getting head kicked by Islam Makhachev is his name. Bad dude. He's from the mountains of Russia. He's one of Khabib Nurmagomedov's understudies. Many people look at Khabib as arguably the greatest MMA fighter of all time.
Yeah,
went undefeated in the UFC. He's
dangerous
the one
man.
Yes,
Dangerous
he's the one a lot of people think is like the reason that Conor McGregor is just like
retired.
Yeah, or like just not the same man anymore after the beating he took. But nonetheless, I set that up to say, so Volkanovski goes back down. He's going to defend his belt against Ilia Topuria is his name, okay? I believe he hails from Spain. Undefeated, though. Big time up-and-coming challenger. Now, before I get into the outcome of that fight, a couple of minor ones. Marib Dvalishvili. Wow. Sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. But he beat Henry Cejudo. Now, why do I bring that up? Henry Cejudo was a former champ who walked away, came back to fight again. Former wrestler, actually an Olympic gold medalist too as well. So it's always sad, but I mean, he's getting the bag at this point, so good for him, man. You know, he's coming back and he still can fight. Then at middleweight, we had two highly ranked contenders, Robert Whittaker and Paulo Costa. Good fight, good back and forth. Paulo Costa landed a nice head kick early in the first round that kind of stunned Whittaker, but Whittaker got his bearings about him and
this is where I gotta hit like see the timeout,
Go
right?
ahead.
Somebody kicks me in my face, man. We got problems. Can we just say that, right? Like I'm all down for a good fight.
It's a
boxing.
fight.
You kick me in my face, yo. Like come on, like yo, my people, the audience out there. You telling me if somebody kicks you in the face, you still gonna fight organized? Like we got problems. Yo, where my boys at? Like anyway, continue.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. You gotta get if
let alone the knee.
If you get mad, you can call your boys into the cage. They can come and back you up. But
don't see me outside. Don't see me outside.
It was a good fight. Whittaker ended up taking it. Some people haggled over the decision. I thought it was the right call. But Volkanovski now main event against Ilia Topuria. Volkanovski was the favorite coming into the fight, despite Topuria being very impressive and undefeated. And I'll tell you this, I've watched Volkanovski fight a decent amount. At 145, one of his biggest advantages was he was always a very big guy in his past. He actually said at one point he weighed over 200 pounds. So to go from 200 pounds to eventually get your body all the way down to 145, you are packing a lot of power at that weight class. And that was something you could always see that was evident in his fights. And you could always see, even if he wasn't taller, he's like bigger, like just more filled out
Stockier,
for the weight.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is the first time that he stepped into the ring and I was like, whoa. I was like, this dude, Topuria, is like big, man. And half of it was just he sat in this big closed boxing stance and you could just see his back. There were times when like they moved around the octagon, you could barely see Volk just because Topuria's back was kind of blocking him off. But nonetheless, good first round. A little bit of back and forth. It seemed Volkanovski started to find his range and figured something out with the head kicks. But this is something I always say about combat sports. Be the aggressor. Be the one who's moving forward. Because eventually, your ability to move or run away from a guy, it runs out if he backs you into a corner. And then you get into an exchange, there's a reason that guy's moving forward confidently. He feels he's got the power necessary to go and land a finishing strike. So Volk wins the first round. Competitive round, not like he was killing him, but it was getting the leg kicks, mixing up the striking. The one thing I noticed was even though he was landing strikes, every time he would back out, chin would come up a little bit. That means you're open for a shot. So second round, very similar. Volkanovski seems to have found his range. He's kind of tattooing up the legs a little bit, mix up the punches, but Topuria keeps moving forward. He throws his exchanges here and there. You hear a couple of shots land. Midway through the second round, Topuria somehow is able to kind of close off the ring and get Volk right up against the cage. And they have like just this little flurry. And you just see 2 punches by Topuria and then a third, a bang, a right. You can barely even see it. It's just so snuck in. But bang, he sneaks that right. And Volk, not only does he finish him, knocks him out cold. I mean, like, I never would have thought I'd see Volk out cold. I was shocked. And I was also just really impressed. There's a new guy. There's a new guy in the weight class, that's for sure. I know you saw some of the recap. You're not a big UFC guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, like from looking at the fight and reviewing everything, just from again, like I'm a big boxing guy, right?
Sure.
So like I tend to compare
Topuria
everything to
can
boxing,
box.
and to me that was the difference, right? Like yeah, listen, I joke about the kicking and stuff,
sure,
right? But I feel like in the UFC with the kicking aspect of it, like you catch someone off guard. And it's like a counter, right, type of a thing.
100%.
Right? Hit him with an elbow, hit him with a knee, a kick, so on and so forth, right? So to me, it's almost like you catch him off guard. From a pure fighting, striking, attacking standpoint, Topuria, like you said, was the aggressor. And all he was, you just need one good shot. And so it seemed like Volk was, I don't want to say being cute, right? But all right, you got all these moves, but it don't mean nothing unless I catch you, right? And so I think, Volk came in there trying to wear down Topuria's body and get blow after blow. And he came in prepared for that. And he just wanted to just brawl. Just let me close this distance, and you're not going to be able to
Tyson style.
Right, exactly. Let's get in this phone booth and let's see who really can fight. And to me, that's why
that's a good analysis or way of looking at it.
Right?
Sure.
To me, that's why Topuria won. And to me, from that fight, and if that's the standard, I think it's going to be hard to beat him right now.
Yeah, listen, the dude is definitely tough. There's a reason he's undefeated and just knocked out who many people were calling I always forget the name of the weight, but the 145-pound GOAT. A lot of people were saying
ain't
Volk
the GOAT no more.
Yeah, Volk was the greatest of all time. We'll see where Volk goes from here. The one thing I would say is how dominant he was in the weight class. He has earned a rematch. The one thing I would say is, and it was funny, I was talking to my friend on the phone about this fight, who's a former fighter, and he said, yeah, I don't think he should have taken the fight. I think it was way too soon after just having taken a knockout. You need that time. Like your brain needs time to recover from knockouts. Because if you don't give it the time and now all of a sudden you take another one, the brain is just going to naturally, it's softened somewhat. So every time you take that contact, again to it, your brain, the skull, it's not quite as durable as it once was to receive blows and heavy blows at that. And as we all saw with Topuria, that dude brings some heavy blows.
So from watching the fight, I think Volk wanted to win by decision, right? And that's why he wanted the body blows. He didn't really seem like he was trying to...
Maybe he wore him down and got to finish late.
Yeah, sure. Catch him, right?
But yeah, he was going to outfight him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To your point, right? He's probably still a little weak, still a little off, right? So he's like, you know what? Let's go the distance, right? And that's your way to try to catch him. This guy won't have
the same power, in the later rounds.
Exactly, right? Sure. So I think that's what his strategy. But this guy's just like, all right, listen, I ain't going to pay attention to these body blows. I came in prepared. I'm just going to knock you out. Let's just fight, right? To your point, you just got to catch him on the jaw once. And from my opinion, it's not even like he clocked him. He caught him, but like it could have been worse.
Clean right hand.
But
that was a clean.
I think that's the best way to say it. It was clean.
Just throwing it right down the pipe.
But then caught him, and then he's just gone.
Yeah.
Right? Looked like he was gone for like good 45 seconds.
He was
right?
out. Even when he got woken up, he was just like, well, what happened? Like he didn't. Yeah. And I always feel so bad for guys in those situations, especially a guy who's so great as dude, it can happen to anybody. Like it's a fight. The fight game is crazy. I think that's why the sport has grown so much in popularity and more people are watching it now. It's just the intensity of the moment. Most people are not psychotic enough to get inside a cage with a locked door with another person who's ready to punch, elbow, knee, try to break your arm, leg.
Why do they have it in the cage? Because my boys can't come in, right? See, I ain't about that life, right?
I don't know. Talk to Conor.
Yo, my man, like, yo, cuckoo.
You know what? Like, go watch that Conor and Khabib fight, man. There were definitely some boys in there afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
but you hope talk to about Conor, that. Right? What's it called? Topuria called him out, no?
He did. So
now, if I want to see,
if you still want to fight, Conor
I'd want to
McGregor.
see that match. I'd want to see that match. That'd be a little blockbuster.
Yeah, good luck with Conor McGregor ever making 145 pounds again. The dude looks like a blimp right now, man. A jacked blimp nonetheless, but a blimp compared to the former self. But listen, it was a great fight because I think of the surprise. It was so, and Topuria, I would say, is going to be a problem in that division for a while. We'll see what Volk does. I'd love to see the rematch because I think he's earned it, but I also would like to see Volk take the time before he goes, and the sport moves on. You know, like this guy
Come
is
back
probably
6
going
months from now.
Yeah, this guy, though, is going to want to fight, and I don't think he's going to want to wait 6 months. So only time will tell. But nice job, man. You acquitted yourself well there for, not a regular.
I'm a sports
MMA
fan,
guy.
man. I'm a sports fan.
Good, man. You figure it out.